From the onset, I am not a fan of Abba. I have to be candid. But I am happy with what he's doing in the Youth Council.
Improving the educational system, the Plateau State Youth Council went into a collaboration with Chevening Scholars on the Plateau and the British Council. And we had one-day orientation for the youths here on the Plateau on how to get to know the opportunities that abound for them to win scholarships. And we came up with 4 of those who have won scholarship as a testimony. And they engaged the youths. It was a whole day program, which was very fulfilling. We created a space to also engage the Empower, because the focal person here on the Plateau, Dr. Fadimatu Hamza, we actually engaged her, and we asked her to come to the larger house, which is a weekly gathering of the youths. Formerly, Plateau was down there in the recruitment or in the enrollment in the Empower program, and it's something we can be proud that we had brought to the notice of the youths through the Youth Council, what happens around the country and how they can also benefit from the social investment program under the office of the Vice President. In December 5th precisely of this year, we gathered reliably that 11,000 youths on the Plateau have been enrolled under the Empower program. But the first orientation was here in Jos, and we had 3,000 and counting youths who were beneficiaries of the Empower as well. So the Youth Council have served as a very serious portal for information dissemination and sharing amongst the youths on the Plateau. As part of the peace building process, we've engaged the electoral bodies like INEC and PLASEC, and which led to a 2-day symposium here on prevention of violent extremism on the Plateau, particularly during the electoral process. And we did like not just a closed door meeting, it's like a one-on-one encounter where we listed the myriads of the issues, and we also profiled solutions to same. And we could also see the effects of some of those symposiums on the behavioral change of the young people here on the Plateau, which it's encouraging. We reached out to the United Nations Development Program, and they came up with a 3-day program here on the Plateau, also on the prevention of violent extremism, from where we were able to nominate 50 youths from across the 108 districts of the 17 local governments here on the Plateau. First, they were recruited to the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center here in Cherry Hills, where they undergo a 2-week training on behavioral modification. And most of these youths were recruited as we looked at the criteria. Youths who are very, very well less privileged. They have acquired some level of education, but there's nobody to stand for them. And we also look at those who are wasting, and the criteria were clearly spelled, and we got them. And they went through the 2 weeks process of behavioral modification, where they were provided with a lot of facilities and training, and after which they were disaggregated into the different trades. We have those who are learning leather works. We also have those who are doing GSM repair. Some are doing catering services, and then some are also into fabrication. And then in the next set are going to move to Lagos, where they are going to learn catering services and GSM repairs. And then the last group of the youths will be moved to probably Kaduna, where they will also, and of course these are part of fulfilling the promises that we made in the place of entrepreneurship training, engagement of these youths, self-employment, and then of course other things that could bring about the economic empowerment of the youths on the Plateau. This year we were able to organize the General Assembly of Plateau State Youth Council, the first in 16 years. And that also gave us the opportunity to discuss the myriads of issues around this constituency. And we were able to bring in the district chairman, the 5 delegates from each local government. We made provisions for special delegates. We had the ESCO, we had the veterans, because we've not had a General Assembly in 16 years. So that also provided a template for us to discuss as young people. And of course, not forgetting that youths are also an integral part of the health system. We went into a collaborative program with the WHO, and we launched the 2018 yellow fever massive vaccination. The WHO came here. We also brought youths from across the 108 districts, including the district chairman. it's very imperative to state here that this is the only administration that has brought district leaders to the city, to the youth center here to also partake actively in the programs of the Youth Council, and we have given them the sense of belonging. But prior to that, we know we have youths who are in the internally displaced people's camps. So we set up a committee that went through the entire 19 IDP camps here on the plateau, and we did a need assessment. And the Youth Council first went to Riom, and then we also went to the Geosciences here in Zawan, and we also went to Hepang, and we took relief in the place of medicines and some clothing materials to the IDPs. But we didn't stop there. During the General Assembly, Plasmida gave us space for 850 the slots. They gave us 850 slots to train youths again in the place of skill acquisition and entrepreneurship. So we took a massive 100 slots to the internally displaced youths, both in Riom and in Zawan, and we had them properly enrolled, and we have seen some of them also in the training, which goes to show that young people who are here, who have been displaced by one reason of crisis or the other, are not forgotten by this administration, and we shall continue to work towards that to see how we can improve. We went into a collaboration with the Job Boro Foundation, and there was a youth summit that was organized here in Jos for 4 days, and basically what we were aiming at is to encourage youths to step out from their comfort zones and to as well be a party to the governance process on the plateau. And of course the hallmark of that was the youth summit that was organized by the Operation Safe Haven in collaboration with the Defense Headquarters. Because our next step is Plateau State Microfinance Development Agency, which is which are our mega partners in the place of entrepreneurship and engagement of the youths. Under which we train some youths also in the place of entrepreneurship and skill acquisition. And some of the trades we did were aluminium and fabrication, tailoring, poultry.
I was not doing anything, sitting down at home only, depending on my parents.
No,
I was schooling, and no schooling without having nothing doing. Just depending on your parents, your spouse for money, but you can do this to get your own personal money.
The agency is trying to ensure that people get the right skills also to venture into productive businesses. You know, over the years, our people so much believe in certificates from universities and colleges without looking at hands-on skills. But now, the agency have been able to develop skills among youths and women in various areas of trades. And these people in turn have become employers of labor.
I learned so many things. I learned how to sew, and I learned how to be obedient.
Gaskiya na koyi abubuwa da dama. Abinda zan ce wa gwamnati sai fatan alkhairi. Plasmida ba abinda zan ce musu sai godiya.
Gaskiya ba abin da zan ce musu sai ga ko ce musu na gode. Kuma inda dama wa'ansu ma su taimake su yadda suka taimake mu.
At least this has taken me off the street, because I've always been at the street. When I graduated, there was nothing to do. Though there are little works that come, but they don't come always.
Mun gode ma Allah, kuma mun gode ma gwamna Simon Lalong da ya fito mana da wannan hanya, kuma mun gode mishi.
I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to explore, to learn. We appreciate and we hope to do more.
The Plateau State Youth Council had a theme of their International Youth Day, Youth and Safe Spaces.
This is also a template for us to request for the availability or the creation of the civic space, the digital space, the well-planned physical spaces for the youth, so that we can strive despite the problems or the myriads of issues that have bedeviled this constituency.
And that's why the government is trying to really create this space for the youths to really, you know, unleash their potentials. You know, over the years, we have been talking about the potentials of Plateau State. But now this government is committed towards transforming these potentials into results. And that is why we are focused on the youth.
That is what the government of Plateau State is all about, creating such spaces that will innovate, inspire, motivate our own young people to maximize their potentials to the benefit of mankind, to the glory of God.
He came, he did not make anything on ground. He started and he's building bridges on the plateau. Our youth are highly engaged in some of these empowerment programs. I have never envisaged that he could achieve so much in this short time. I'm happy that as the chairman of the Youth Council, he is able to bring Plateau Youth together. Despite the fact that there are people who will not agree with me, but I know he has done so much. He has done a lot for Plateau Youth. And I pray that God will continue to give him wisdom and guidance as he pilots the affairs of this state.